All right, let's get right into it. We're going to pull back the curtain on something really important, a psychological playbook. This is the set of tools manipulators use to control conversations and, well, to control you.
You know that feeling, right? That really unsettling sense after a talk where you just feel off balance, almost dizzy. You walked in feeling totally fine, totally confident, and you walk away feeling just wrong. It's this weird mix of confusion. Suddenly you're questioning things you know happened. You get hit with this wave of guilt, but you're not even sure what for. And then that little voice starts creeping in, wondering, wait, am I the one who's the problem here? But here's the thing. What if I told you that feeling is no accident? It's not because you're too sensitive, and it's not because your memory is failing. No, it is very often the direct result of a calculated strategy, a set of manipulative questions designed specifically to throw you on the defensive. Today, we're decoding that playbook.
First up, we have the absolute cornerstone of manipulation, the gaslighting gambit. And let's be clear, this tactic isn't about winning an argument with facts. It's about making you question if you even know what the facts are in the first place.
Oh, this is a classic. It sounds so innocent, doesn't it? Maybe even a little concerned, but its purpose is incredibly sharp. It's a direct attack on your belief in your own mind. See, a manipulator can't change the past, so they try to change how you remember it.
And that's the crucial part to understand. This is not a debate. It's a power play. When someone looks you in the eye and says, "I never said that," about something you vividly remember, they are deliberately trying to make you feel like you're losing your grip. The goal is to weaken your sense of reality so that their version is the only one left standing. Let's really look at the subtext here. When someone says you're overreacting, what you should hear is your emotional response is the real problem, not my behavior. By making your feelings seem invalid, they get to completely sidestep any kind of accountability. It's a neat little trick, isn't it? Okay, let's move on to the next play, because this is where it gets even more insidious. This is the guilt and loyalty trap. This tactic takes all your good qualities, your fairness, your trust, your desire to be a good person, and it weaponizes them against you. This one is just so powerful. 4 little words that can flip an entire conversation on its head. All of a sudden, the issue isn't their sketchy behavior anymore, is it? Nope. Now it's about your lack of faith. It is a masterful pivot away from taking any responsibility. This right here, this just exposes the emotional hostage situation that's going on. The question isn't really about what they need. It's about leveraging your fear of disappointing them. They're making you feel responsible for managing their feelings. And that's the trap. It's a dead end. There's no good way out. If you say, "Yes, of course I trust you," then you basically just agreed to ignore your own gut instinct. But if you say no, well, now you're the villain. You're the disloyal, untrusting one. Either way, they win, and the real issue gets buried. And that brings us to our third tactic, which is often a move of pure desperation, the blame shift. When a manipulator feels like they're cornered by the facts, they don't argue the facts. Instead, they just change the subject to you, and specifically to your flaws. This question is a total smokescreen. It has one job and one job only, to get you to stop talking about them and start defending yourself. They know you're not perfect, nobody is, and they are banking on the fact that you'll get so flustered trying to prove you're not arrogant that you'll just drop the original point. Here's another classic blame shift. It takes your perfectly normal, reasonable reaction and frames it as a personal weakness. The subtext is clear. Your sensitivity is the real issue here. And just like that, any real discussion about their actions is completely shut down. It's an accusation dressed up as a question. You've got to see this for what it is. It's a strategic retreat. It's them jumping out of the hot seat. While you're busy defending your character, they are quietly slipping out the back door, totally free of any responsibility. Okay, so we've seen the plays, we've identified the playbook. Now the most important part, how do you defend yourself? Well, the good news is the defense is actually pretty simple. It's not always easy, but it is simple. See, the power isn't in winning their game. It's in refusing to play it at all. I want you to think of it like this. It's an emotional transaction. The manipulator offers you a guilt trip or an accusation, and then they just wait. They're waiting for you to react. with anger, with self-doubt, with defensiveness. That reaction is the currency they need. So your most powerful move is to simply refuse to pay.
A really effective way to do this is with something called the JADE principle. JADE. It stands for don't justify, argue, defend, or explain. Why? Because manipulators thrive on that stuff. Every one of those actions is a form of engagement. It's you giving them the emotional reaction they crave. When you refuse to jade, you're essentially starving the dynamic. You cut off its fuel.
So, what does refusing to play look like in the real world? It looks like this. These responses are so powerful because they're calm, they're clear, and they are totally unshakable. They don't take the bait. Notice how every single one pivots right back to the facts or to your own experience. They refuse to get dragged into a fight about your trust or your emotions. They just shut the game down. So if you take one thing away from this, let it be this. Just recognizing the playbook is the first and most powerful step to disarming it. These tactics, they only really work in the dark. Once you shine a light on them and see the moves for what they really are, they lose almost all of their power. You know, the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius figured this out thousands of years ago. You can't control someone else's attempts to twist reality. You just can't. But what you can control is your own mind. Your refusal to let their doubt become your doubt, that's where all your strength lies. When it comes down to it, manipulators need you to play a part. They hand you a script, one that's filled with self-doubt, guilt, and confusion. But you don't have to read their lines. You can stick to your own script, the one based on clarity, confidence, and your own reality. So the only question left is, whose script will you choose to stop reading from?